What if I told you there's a completely legal way to boost your credit score, sometimes by dozens of points in a matter of weeks, not years? It sounds like one of those too good to be true internet hacks, right? But here's the reality. Millions of people are stuck believing that improving their credit score is a slow, painful process that takes forever, while a small group of people quietly use strategies that accelerate the process dramatically. And the most surprising part is this. Banks and lenders already know about it, but they don't exactly go out of their way to tell you. Why would they? The longer you struggle with a low or average credit score, the more interest you pay, the more fees you rack up, and the more money they make. So instead, most people follow the traditional advice: pay on time, keep balances low, wait patiently, and while that does work, it's not the fastest way. In this video, I'm going to break down one of the most powerful credit score loopholes that can give you a serious head start. And I'll show you exactly how it works, why it works, and how you can use it yourself without doing anything illegal or risky if you do it the right way. But make sure you stick around, because later, I'll also show you the biggest mistakes people make with this strategy that can actually hurt their score instead of helping it. Before we jump into the loophole itself, you need to understand something important about how credit scores actually work. Because once you see the system from the inside, everything starts to make sense. Your credit score isn't just some random number, it's a calculated reflection of how you use credit, based on factors like your payment history, how much of your available credit you're using, how long you've had credit accounts, and a few other details. The problem is, most people think every part of this system moves slowly, like it's designed to take years to improve, but that's not entirely true. Some parts of your credit profile can change much faster than you think, and that's exactly where this loophole comes in. Instead of trying to build everything from scratch, this strategy allows you to tap into an existing credit history and benefit from it almost immediately. And no, this isn't some shady trick or something that will get you into trouble. This is completely legal and recognized by the credit system itself. By the end of this video, you'll not only understand how this loophole works, but you'll also know how to apply it step by step to potentially boost your own score faster than you ever thought possible. Before we dive into the loophole, you need to understand how the credit scoring system really works. Because once you see how the system is built, you'll start to notice where the opportunities are. Your credit score is not random. It's calculated using specific factors that lenders use to predict how risky you are as a borrower. The most important factor is your payment history, which makes up about 35% of your score. This simply tracks whether you pay your bills on time. Even one missed payment can have a serious impact, which is why consistency is so important. The next major factor is credit utilization, which accounts for about 30%. This refers to how much of your available credit you're using. For example, if you have a credit card limit of $1,000 and you're using $800, your utilization is 80%, which is considered very high and can hurt your score. Then there's the length of your credit history, which shows how long your accounts have been active. Older accounts are generally better because they show stability. Credit mix is another smaller factor, meaning the variety of accounts you have, such as credit cards, loans, or mortgages. Finally, there are new credit inquiries, which happen when you apply for new credit. Too many inquiries in a short time can signal risk and slightly lower your score. Now, here's the key insight most people miss. Not all of these factors take years to change. Some, like utilization and account reporting, can shift much faster. And that's exactly where this loophole starts to become powerful. Now let's talk about the loophole itself. And this is where things get interesting. The strategy is called becoming an authorized user on someone else's credit card account. In simple terms, this means someone with a strong credit history adds you to their credit card as a secondary user. You don't need to apply for a new card. You don't go through a credit check. And in many cases, you don't even need to use the card at all. But here's the powerful part. When you're added as an authorized user, the account's history can appear on your credit report. That means if the primary cardholder has a long history of on-time payments, a low balance, and a high credit limit, all of that positive information can start reflecting on your credit profile. Essentially, you're borrowing their credit strength. This can increase your average credit age, lower your utilization ratio, and improve your overall score much faster than building from scratch. And yes, this is completely legal and recognized by the credit system. So why don't banks talk about it more openly? Because it doesn't directly make them money. If you can boost your credit score faster, you qualify for better interest rates sooner, which means you pay less over time. From a business perspective, it's simply not in their interest to highlight shortcuts like this. But for you, as someone who understands how the system works, this becomes a powerful tool you can use to your advantage. Now that you understand what the loophole is, let's break down exactly how to use it step by step, because doing it the right way is what makes all the difference. The first step is finding the right person to add you as an authorized user. This is critical. You want someone who has a strong credit profile, meaning they have a high credit score, a long history with their account, and most importantly, a record of on-time payments. Their credit card should also have low utilization, ideally below 10 to 30% of the total limit. Once you've identified the right person, the next step is simply asking them to add you as an authorized user on their credit card. This process is usually quick and can often be done online through their bank account. After you're added, the credit card company will typically report the account to the credit bureaus under your name as well. At this point, you don't actually need to use the card. In fact, many people choose not to use it at all to avoid any complications. Then comes the waiting period. It usually takes around 30 to 60 days for the account to appear on your credit report and start affecting your score. Once it does, you may begin to see improvements depending on the strength of that account. Some people see small increases, while others experience significant jumps. The key is patience and making sure everything is set up correctly from the start. While this loophole can be powerful, it's not completely risk-free. And this is where a lot of people make mistakes that end up hurting their credit instead of helping it. The biggest risk comes from choosing the wrong person. If the primary account holder has high balances or misses payments, that negative activity can also show up on your credit report. Instead of boosting your score, it could actually drag it down. That's why it's absolutely essential to only connect yourself to accounts with a strong and clean history. Another common mistake is ignoring credit utilization. Even if the account has a perfect payment history, a high balance relative to its limit can still harm your score. For example, if the card is maxed out, that high utilization will reflect on your report and could lower your score significantly. Timing also matters. If you're added right before a high balance is reported, you might not see the benefits you're expecting. There's also the issue of over-reliance. This strategy is a shortcut, not a complete solution. Some people think they can rely entirely on being an authorized user without building their own credit habits, which is a mistake. Lenders still look at your personal credit behavior when making decisions. So while this can give you a boost, you still need to maintain good financial habits yourself. Used correctly, this strategy can be a huge advantage, but used carelessly, it can backfire. Now, if you really want to maximize your credit score, you shouldn't rely on just one strategy. There are a few additional credit hacks that can work alongside this loophole to give you even better results. One of the simplest but most effective tricks is paying your credit card balance before the statement closing date, not just before the due date. This keeps your reported utilization low, which can have an immediate positive impact on your score. Another powerful habit is keeping your credit utilization below 10% whenever possible. Even though many people say 30% is acceptable, staying under 10% shows lenders that you're using credit responsibly at a very high level. You should also regularly check your credit report for errors. Mistakes happen more often than people think, and disputing incorrect information can sometimes result in quick score improvements. Using a secured credit card is another smart move, especially if you're just starting out or rebuilding your credit. It allows you to build your own positive history while minimizing risk. And finally, avoid applying for too many credit accounts in a short period of time. Each application creates a hard inquiry, and too many of those can lower your score temporarily. When you combine these habits with the authorized user strategy, you're no longer just playing the credit game, you're playing it smart. And that's how you start seeing real, noticeable results much faster than the average person. So at the end of the day, here's the truth. Most people never realize your credit score isn't just about time, it's about strategy. The system is designed in a way that rewards certain behaviors, and once you understand how it works, you can start using it to your advantage instead of feeling stuck waiting for years. The authorized user loophole we talked about today is one of those strategies. It's not magic, and it's not a guaranteed instant fix. But when used correctly, it can give you a serious head start and accelerate your progress in a way most people don't even know is possible. But remember, this works best when you combine it with smart habits. Paying on time, keeping your balances low, and managing your credit responsibly will always be the foundation. Think of this loophole as a boost, not a replacement. If you rely on it, without building your own strong credit behavior, the results won't last. But if you use it wisely, it can open doors: better credit cards, lower interest rates, easier loan approvals, all the things that come with having a strong credit profile. Now here's what I want you to do. If you found this helpful, drop a comment below saying "loophole" so I know you made it all the way through. And if you want more videos like this, where I break down hidden strategies, smart money moves, and things most people don't talk about, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications. Because in the next video, I'm going to show you exactly how people with low or even zero credit scores still get approved for credit cards, and that's something you don't want to miss.